The new training day began on Star Station Helios, a giant academy floating in the middle of deep space. Every student from different alien species walked toward the training hall, but today they all looked nervous. Something strange was happening. Something big. Word had spread fast through the academy, passing from one whisper to another. They are bringing a predator pup today. No way, that creature kills full-grown soldiers. Why would they put it in our class? Aliens with blue skin, green scales, soft fur, long tails, and glowing eyes all gathered outside the glass doors. No one wanted to be the first to enter. Even the bravest looked scared. A predator pup was not a normal animal. It was a young member of the most feared species in the galaxy. Creatures born for the hunt, born with claws, fangs, and blood-red vision. Even young pups were dangerous. Inside the room, the desks were arranged in a perfect circle, and the instructor waited quietly. His name was Instructor Halon, a tall alien with silver skin and dark, sharp eyes. He stood with his arms behind his back, watching the clock tick toward the start time. He knew what was coming. He knew how the students would react. And he smiled a slow, knowing smile. As the door finally opened, the students entered one by one, keeping close to the walls as if danger might jump at them any second. They found seats far from the empty one in the front row, the seat reserved for the predator pup. No one dared to sit near it, except one. A young human cadet named Dane walked inside with calm steps. He was average height, with messy dark hair, brown eyes, and a relaxed face that looked like he did not care about danger at all. His uniform was simple, his boots quiet on the floor. While others walked slowly, Dane moved with the ease of someone entering his own room. Aliens watched him in confusion. Is he stupid? A scaled student whispered. Does he not know what is coming? A furry student asked. He is human. They never act normal, another muttered. Dane simply walked to the empty seat in the front row, the one everyone feared, and sat down. He placed his hands behind his head and leaned back like he was enjoying a warm, sunny day. Then the door at the back of the room slid open. A chill ran through every student as metal boots echoed on the floor. 2 armored guards entered, but between them was something small and dark, moving slowly, head low, claws clicking lightly. The predator pup. Its fur was black with faint silver lines. Its eyes glowed like hot amber stones. Sharp little teeth stuck out even when its mouth was closed. Even young, its shoulders were wide, and its steps were smooth like a natural hunter. The room fell silent. No one breathed. The pup sniffed the air, and its tail flicked once. Students pressed their backs against their chairs, ready to run. Some covered their necks. Some held their breath. Everyone expected the pup to snarl or jump at someone. But it did something none of them expected. It walked straight past every alien in the room, past the glowing-eyed lizards, past the large-furred beasts, past the tall, armored species, past every scared, shaking student. It walked directly to Dane, the human, the weakest species in the room. The pup stopped in front of Dane, staring at him with bright, burning eyes. The students held their breath, expecting the human to scream or jump away. Instead, Dane lifted one eyebrow. "Oh, hey," he said softly. "You're early." The predator pup blinked once, then sat down beside Dane like it belonged there. Calm, quiet, and relaxed, as if the human was the safest place in the room. Shock spread through the class. Students looked from the pup to the human and back again. Why is it sitting with him? Is he its owner? No human could control that. What is going on? Even the instructor watched with interest. Dane reached out and lightly tapped the pup's head. The pup closed its eyes for a moment, almost like it enjoyed the touch. The instructor stepped forward. "Everyone take your seats," he said. No one moved. They were still staring at the human and the predator sitting side by side. The instructor waited a moment, then pressed a button on his wrist device. With a loud mechanical clunk, the classroom doors sealed shut. Thick metal panels slid over them. No one could get out. The students finally panicked. Why is the room sealed? What is happening? Is this safe? Instructor Halon only smiled wider. "It seems," he said slowly, "that today will be very interesting." He looked at the human and the dark predator pup sitting together in calm silence. And in that moment, every student realized something. The real danger in the room was not the predator pup. It was the human who made the predator sit quietly. Something was very, very unusual about Dane. And the instructor knew exactly. The sealed doors made a heavy echo through the training hall, like the start of something dangerous. Every student turned toward the instructor, eyes wide, breathing fast. Some tried to stand, but alarms flashed red above the doors. No exit. No escape. Dane, the human, stayed relaxed in his seat. The predator pup beside him lay down on the floor, tail curled, eyes glowing gently as if everything was normal. This made the aliens even more scared. If a human could sit calm next to a predator, then what was happening? Instructor Halon stepped into the center of the room. His silver skin shimmered under the emergency lights. "Today," he said in a steady voice, "your real training begins." The aliens looked around nervously. "What training? This is not normal. We didn't sign up for this." The instructor ignored the noise and tapped a panel on the floor. The desks slowly sank into the ground, leaving the students with empty space around them. The walls shifted, revealing hidden compartments filled with simple training weapons, foam shields, padded staffs, glowing markers. Students backed away. Why do we need weapons? Is the predator going to attack? Is this a trap? Instructor Halon raised a hand. Quiet. This is not about the pup. Every alien slowly turned their head toward Dane and the predator. Both were calm. Too calm. "It is about all of you." A long moment passed. The lights dimmed to deep red. A siren began to pulse softly, like a heartbeat. "In this academy," Halon continued, "we train you for real danger. Not classroom tests. Not paper exams. Real survival." Some students swallowed hard. A small glowing drone dropped from the ceiling and projected a spinning hologram of a galaxy map. "Out there," the instructor said, "are creatures far worse than this pup. Machines, beasts, pirates, and things without names." He paused, letting tension fill the air. "So today, you will learn the truth. You will learn what happens when fear controls you and what happens when courage leads you." The students tried to understand his meaning. A blue-skinned girl raised a trembling hand. "Sir, why seal the doors?" The instructor smiled, but not kindly. "Because none of you would stay if I didn't." The entire class froze. Instructor Halon tapped a new command. The wall behind him slid open and several sleek robotic spheres rolled out. Black metal, razor smooth, glowing with red sensors. The aliens gasped. "Hunter drones. They're used in military tests. They shoot stun bolts." The drones lined up in a row, humming softly, their red lights scanning the room, searching for targets. The predator pup lifted its head, ears twitching. It let out a low growl. Dane gently placed his hand on its neck. "Easy," he said in a calm whisper. The pup stopped instantly. The alien stared again. How could a human quiet a predator with one word? Instructor Halon pointed toward the drones. "These hunters will release controlled attacks. They will not kill unless you fail to react." The class shook with fear. Dane sighed and stretched his arms. "Finally," he muttered. "Something fun." Several alien students turned to him with disbelief. "Fun? Are you insane? These machines attack anything that moves." "Humans are strange," one whispered. The instructor heard their fear and raised his voice. "All of you will face the hunters. You will fight, dodge, survive. This is the exam." A scaled alien shook his head wildly. "But we are not ready." "That," Instructor Halon said, "is the point." The hunters activated. Their red sensors turned bright. Their metal arms unfolded. A chilling electronic voice echoed. "Targets detected." Aliens screamed and scattered. Some tried to hide behind pillars. Some grabbed the padded weapons. Some curled into balls on the floor. The predator pup stood up, fur rising, eyes glowing with primal instinct. It wanted to fight. It waited for Dane's command. Dane stood from his seat with slow, lazy movements, like this was nothing new to him. He looked around the room at the running, panicking aliens. "Everyone," Dane said loudly, "stop running." No one listened. One drone fired a stun bolt. It hit a tall, feathered student, knocking him to the floor. Another shot passed right over a student's head. Chaos everywhere. Dane whistled sharply. The predator pup instantly shifted into a battle stance beside him, ready to protect him with full force. Instructor Halond watched closely. This moment was what he had sealed the room for. Dane stepped forward, eyes sharp and steady. While every alien feared the drones, he feared nothing, and the pup followed his lead like a shadow of danger. This was not normal training. This was a message the class would soon understand. Humans do not run from danger. Danger runs from humans. The hunter drones spread across the training hall like silent metal predators. Their red sensors glowed brighter as they scanned every corner. The air felt heavy, charged with danger. Students hid behind pillars, under benches, anywhere they could squeeze their trembling bodies. But every time a student moved even a little, the drones snapped toward the sound with a sharp metallic click. Target locked. A stun bolt fired. A blue-skinned girl screamed and dropped her weapon as she fell to the floor, shocked by the electric pulse. Another drone aimed at a furry student who tried to crawl behind a table. Target movement detected. A shot blasted the table into pieces of smoking metal. "Please turn them off," someone shouted. But the instructor only watched quietly from the center, hands folded behind his back, eyes sharp like he was studying something important. Dane, the human cadet, watched the chaos with a calm expression. He didn't hide. He didn't run. He did not even flinch when a stun bolt sizzled past his leg. Beside him, the predator pup's fur was standing straight up, glowing lines on its body pulsing like lightning under the skin. It growled deep, ready to tear the drones apart. But it waited. It waited for the human's signal. Dane finally spoke, his voice steady. "Okay, pup. Let's move." The predator pup lowered its head, claws tapping the floor. Its eyes locked on the nearest drone with cold, sharp focus. But Dane raised one hand. "No attacking yet." The pup froze instantly. Every alien who saw this gasped. "No predator obeys like that," whispered a scaled student. "How is he controlling it?" another asked. "Humans don't control predators. Predators avoid humans," someone else said. The drones turned toward Dane now. He was the only one standing in the open. To them, he looked like the easiest target. One drone zoomed forward, metal claws extended. The instructor watched closely. "Let's see what the human does now," he murmured. The drone fired. A bright bolt of energy shot straight at Dane's chest. The class screamed. But Dane stepped sideways with a smooth, quick motion. The bolt missed by an inch. His face did not change. His breathing stayed calm. The drone kept firing. Dane kept moving just enough to avoid each shot. He didn't panic. He didn't rush. He moved like he had done this many times before. The predator pup followed him step for step, eyes locked on the threat but never attacking because he hadn't given the order. Another drone turned its attention toward a small alien hiding behind Dane. Target found. It aimed to fire. Dane reacted instantly. He grabbed a fallen foam shield from the floor, swung it like he had practiced the move 1,000 times, and the bolt slammed into the shield harmlessly. The student behind him stared in awe. "You saved me," he stuttered. Dane shrugged. "Yeah. Try not to get shot again." More drones moved in now. The air filled with the buzzing sound of charging weapons. 6 drones aligned their sensors on the human. The instructor leaned forward, eyes narrowing. The real test was beginning. The predator pup growled, body trembling with the need to attack. "Not yet," Dane whispered again. But this time, the pup's muscles shook with effort. It wanted to strike. It wanted to protect Dane. A drone fired at Dane's back. The pup snapped its jaws, ready to leap. But Dane spun, caught the stun bolt with his shield, let the force push him back, and planted his feet. He didn't need the pup to save him. Not yet. The aliens watched in shock as the human moved with speed, control, and strange confidence. Humans were supposed to be weak, fragile, breakable, but Dane looked like he was meant for danger. A drone flew too close. Dane struck its side with the shield. The metal sphere spun wildly, losing balance. The predator pup growled happily. Dane had just challenged the hunters. The drones recalibrated. Their red lights brightened. Increased threat level detected. More drones activated from the walls. Twice as many as before. "They're doubling the attack," someone screamed. The instructor gave a small nod. He wanted to see how far the human would go. Dane exhaled slowly. "All right," he said to the predator pup. "Now it gets fun." The pup's ears perked. Its claws dug into the floor. It crouched low, ready to launch. Dane pointed at the nearest drone. "Go." The predator pup exploded forward like a shadow of lightning. Its movement was silent, deadly, perfect. It slammed into a drone, crushing it against the wall. Sparks flew everywhere. The class gasped. Predators were fast, but this pup moved with terrifying precision. Dane followed behind it, shield up, eyes sharp, guiding the pup's attacks with simple hand signals. This was not random fighting. This was teamwork. This was training. This was a human and a predator hunting together. The drones fired desperately, but Dane guided the pup around every shot. Left, up, back, push. Each command made the pup move faster, stronger. The instructor's eyes widened. He had seen many warriors. He had seen many predators. But he had never seen this. A human leading a predator, like a commander leading a trained weapon. The drones realized the danger too late. The predator pup smashed another drone to pieces. Dane blocked 3 bolts in a row. More drones fell. And in that moment, every alien student understood one thing clearly. The predator pup was scary, but the human controlling it? He was far, far more dangerous. The training hall shook with the sound of metal crashing and energy bolts firing. Smoke drifted through the air from the destroyed drones. But the fight was far from over. New panels opened in the walls, and more hunter drones floated out, bigger this time, heavier, carrying double energy cannons. Their sensors glowed a deep, threatening red. Level 2 units activated. The aliens cried out again. "There's more of them. We can't survive this." Someone stopped the test, but the instructor didn't stop anything. He watched silently, analyzing every movement, every reaction. This was exactly what he wanted. Dane stood tall in the center of the chaos. The predator pup returned to his side, breathing hard but eager, its dark fur glowing with silver streaks like lightning under skin. The aliens hid behind broken tables and pillars. Some lay shocked on the floor from earlier hits. Some simply curled up and closed their eyes, waiting for the test to end. But Dane wasn't scared. He wasn't even tired. He tightened the strap on his glove, rolled his shoulders, and looked at the new drones. "All right," he muttered. "You look tougher." The predator pup growled in agreement. The drones charged their cannons, bright energy building at their tips. The sound filled the hall like a growing storm. Dane looked at the aliens hiding around him. Their eyes were wide. They were shaking. Some had tears on their faces. He sighed. "These guys won't survive if I don't help," he said quietly. Then he lifted the foam shield, angled it, and called out loud. "Everyone, get behind me." No one moved. They couldn't believe what he said. "Behind you," a small alien stuttered. "You're a human. You'll die," another cried. "You can't block that much fire." Dane raised an eyebrow. "You want to bet?" Another drone fired suddenly, straight at a cluster of students. Dane sprinted. He didn't run like a scared cadet. He ran like a soldier who had done this before. He reached the students in time, planted his feet, raised the shield. Boom! The blast hit him full force. The shield glowed white from impact. The floor cracked slightly under his boots. But Dane didn't fall. He held the shield steady as the energy washed over him, protecting every alien behind him. When the light faded, the aliens peeked out. Dane stood there, breathing slow and steady, not even shaking. "You're safe," he said simply. The students stared at him like he was something impossible. "Humans can't take blasts like that. He's not even injured." Is this normal for them?
No one could believe what they saw.
The predator pup barked sharply, ready to fight again. Dane nodded. Okay, pup. Let's go. Then everything happened fast. Another drone aimed at a fallen student. Dane signaled with 2 fingers. The predator pup leapt over Dane's shoulder like a flying shadow, spinning in the air, claws slashing through metal. Sparks exploded everywhere. One drone down. Another drone targeted a group hiding behind a pillar. Dane threw his shield like a spinning disc. It slammed into the drone, knocking it sideways. The predator pup smashed into it from the other side, finishing it. 2 more drones charged from above. Dane grabbed a metal rod from the floor, spun it, and struck one drone's cannon, making it misfire into the other drone. Explosion. 3 drones down. The instructor's eyes widened with every move Dane made. He whispered softly to himself. This human, he is leading them like a commander. He is reading the battlefield in seconds. The aliens noticed it too. Whenever Dane shouted an order, the predator pup followed instantly. Whenever Dane moved, the pup moved with him. Whenever he pointed, the pup attacked the exact target he wanted. It was like watching a human and a predator share one mind. The aliens realized something chilling. Humans weren't powerful because of strength. They were powerful because they stayed calm in chaos. They were powerful because they controlled fear. They were powerful because they could bond with monsters. A brave feathered alien stepped out from hiding. Human, what should we do? Dane didn't look back. He knocked a drone away with his rod and shouted, cover the sides. Don't cluster together. Another student crawled out. Like this. Exactly, Dane said. Soon 2 more aliens joined. Then 3 more. Then 5. One by one, the class stepped into the fight, not because they trusted themselves, but because they trusted the human at the center of the battle. Dane guided them with simple, sharp commands. Move. Left. Shield up. Fall back. Push forward. The aliens followed him like soldiers. The predator pup fought beside them like a living weapon. The drones were strong, but Dane's strategy was stronger. Piece by piece, drone by drone, the team worked together because of him. Finally, after a long, hard battle, the last drone exploded into sparks. Silence. Smoke. Deep breaths. The training hall looked like a war zone. Aliens lay on the ground exhausted. But Dane stood tall, barely sweating, the predator pup sitting proudly at his feet. The instructor finally stepped forward. His voice was quiet, but filled with something new, respect. Now, he said, you all know why humans are feared across the galaxy. When the last drone shut down, the training hall became silent, too silent. Smoke floated in the air, lights flickered, and broken metal pieces covered the floor like fallen stars. Most alien students sat with shaking legs. Some were still holding their shields like they were afraid the drones might wake again. Others looked at Dane, the human, with a mix of fear and awe. The predator pup walked in a slow circle, sniffing the fallen drones, proud of its victory. But it stayed close to Dane, like a soldier guarding its commander. Instructor Halon finally stepped forward, his footsteps echoing loudly in the silent hall. He looked at the class with calm, sharp eyes. Well done, he said. No one cheered. No one clapped.
They were too shocked for that.
A young feathered alien raised a trembling wing. Sir, why did you do this? We could have died. Instructor Halon only folded his arms. That is the point. The aliens gasped again. Dane rubbed the back of his neck. You're not great at explaining things gently, huh? The instructor ignored the comment. He looked directly at Dane, then at the predator pup, then at the terrified class. There is something you all need to understand, Halon said slowly. Something you were never told before. He walked toward the sealed doors and tapped a button. But the doors did not open. Instead, a hologram flickered to life across the wall. It showed images, dark forests, metal ruins, giant beasts, creatures with rows of teeth, massive claws, glowing eyes. Creatures that looked far worse than the drones. The class stared in fear. What are those? Someone whispered. Instructor Halon answered with a low, steady voice. These are the creatures from the outer regions. the place where all predators come from, including the species of this pup. The predator pup growled softly at the images, remembering something dark. They destroy entire colonies, Halon continued. They hunt everything, even soldiers. And soon one of these beings will arrive near our outer border. The aliens shivered. They were just students. How could they fight monsters like that? Then Halon said something no one expected. And the only reason we know how to fight them is because of humans. Every alien turned to look at Dane. Dane blinked. What did I do? I was just blocking shots and babysitting my pup. The instructor's eyes narrowed. Do not play humble. You know the truth. Dane looked away for a moment, jaw tight. The class didn't understand. Truth? What truth? The furry student asked. The instructor stepped closer to Dane, speaking slowly, so every student heard. Humans have fought these monsters before. Alone. On foot. With nothing but simple weapons. And they won. Shock spread across the room like a wave. That's impossible. No species can do that. Humans are fragile. Instructor Halon shook his head. You only think humans are weak because you have never seen real humans. He pointed at the destroyed drones. You saw how he fought today. That was not luck. That was training. Dane shifted uncomfortably. He didn't like being the center of attention. Halon continued, humans are not strong because of their muscles. They are strong because they never stop. They never fear. They never quit. They face bigger enemies than themselves and still move forward. The class stared at Dane with new eyes. A small alien asked softly, Human, is this true? Dane scratched his cheek, thinking. Finally he shrugged. Humans just try. That's all. We don't like running. The predator pup nudged his leg, as if agreeing. But the instructor wasn't finished. We brought this predator pup here for one reason, Halon said. To see who it would choose. The class froze. Choose? Choose what? The instructor looked straight into the human's eyes. And it chose you. Dane blinked. I didn't choose anything. I just said hello. Halon shook his head.
No.
Predator pups only sit beside warriors. True warriors. They smell strength. They sense courage. They follow those who are not scared of dying. Every alien shuddered. That meant Dane wasn't just brave. He was dangerous. The instructor stepped back and gestured to the class. You all feared the pup. You all hid. But he, Halon pointed at Dane, did not. And because of that, the pup sees him as its pack. The room fell silent. Then the instructor said the part that changed everything. And now, because the predator has chosen him, the academy will test him again. Harder this time. Much harder. The predator pup growled sharply in excitement. Dane exhaled slowly, eyes narrowing. So that's why you sealed the doors. Yes, Halon answered. Because the next test begins now. Suddenly, the lights went out. The room fell into total darkness. Students screamed. The predator pup stood tense. Dane lifted his head, eyes narrowing in the dark. And a quiet, mechanical voice echoed through the training hall. Part 6 began with a strange silence inside the sealed training room. For one full second, nobody moved. The lights flickered once, the floor shook softly, and every cadet looked around with wide, confused eyes. It felt like the whole academy took a deep breath, then held it. The big wolf alien cadet, Raskin, lifted his ears. What was that? He growled softly. Before anyone could answer, four heavy metal panels dropped from the ceiling with a loud clink. They slammed into the floor, cutting the room into sections. The students jumped back. The instructor, standing near the command console, only smiled with excitement. Do not panic, he said. This is the final test. You passed the earlier danger. But this one will decide who deserves to stay in this academy. Another shock ran through the room. The lights went red. A warning siren roared through the speakers. A robotic voice spoke. Predator containment failure. Unknown creature entering training zone. Every alien cadet froze. Predator failure? Unknown creature? Inside this room? Raskin the wolf tightened his fists. Several scaled cadets stepped back. Even the glowing girl from the front row looked nervous. But one person did not move. The human. He stood calm. His face didn't show fear. He just looked at the instructor like he already understood something. The instructor nodded at him, as if sending a private message, without speaking. The floor panels vibrated again. From the far corner, something small crawled out of a dark vent. All the cadets gasped. A tiny creature stepped forward. A predator pup. But this was not an ordinary pup. Its skin was black like obsidian. Its eyes glowed faint red, and small fangs peeked from its mouth. Every alien cadet took 2 steps back. Even Raskin, who loved danger, hesitated. This species was famous for being aggressive even as babies. Yet the pup didn't look at them. It calmly walked toward the human. The alien cadets whispered in shock. Why is it going to him? Does it think he's food? No. It's wagging its tail? The pup sat down right in front of the human and stared up at him, waiting, like it knew him, like it trusted him. The instructor finally spoke. This creature is a shadow Fong pup. Even adult soldiers fear them. Even trained handlers cannot fully control them. The cadets swallowed hard. But this pup, the instructor continued, was not trained by us.
He pointed at the human.
It was trained by him. The whole room burst into confusion. What? Humans can train shadow fangs? That's impossible. No one controls them. The human crouched down and gently touched the pup's head. The deadly creature leaned into his hand like a spoiled pet, purring softly. The alien stared, speechless. Then the instructor pressed a new button. The room walls shifted, turning into a massive battle arena. Illusions of cliffs, dark tunnels, and glowing mist rose around them. The robotic voice returned. Final test, team strategy with unpredictable threats. The aliens groaned. Unpredictable threats? In this room, while a shadow Fong pup was loose, the instructor lifted a challenge stick. You will survive only if you trust your teammates. All of them. He looked at the human again. And yes, that includes the pup. Raskin stepped toward the human, still unsure. Human, can that thing even understand orders? The human smiled. Only one command. The wolf warrior swallowed. And, what is that? The human clicked his tongue once. The pup's ears raised. Its eyes glowed brighter. Its claws extended into the ground. The human said only one word. Protect. The pup let out a deep, dangerous rumble, young but powerful, ready to jump at anything that threatened its human. Every alien cadet felt chills across their skin. The instructor stepped back as the arena walls lit up with dozens of hidden enemies, mechanical monsters, drones, and shifting holographic beasts. Your final test begins now. The alarms roared. The floor shook. The first mechanical beast dropped in front of them with a roar. Raskin shouted, Human, your pup, can it help? The human's eyes narrowed with calm confidence. It won't help, he said. It will lead. The pup leaped forward with a soundless, deadly speed, straight at the metal monster. The room exploded into chaos as the final test truly began. The arena shook with chaos. Mechanical monsters roared, drones fired bolts, and shifting holograms created illusions of giant beasts surrounding the cadets. The alien students panicked, scrambling for cover. Some fell, some stumbled, and some froze, unable to move. The predator pup stood at the human's side, eyes glowing fiercely, tail lashing, ready to strike anything that came near him.
Dane didn't panic.
He didn't hesitate. He scanned the arena, reading the movements of every enemy, every ally, every hidden threat. Every step he took was calm, controlled, precise. His instincts were razor-sharp, his mind working faster than the chaos around him. The pup reacted instantly to every command. Dane pointed, and the pup dove through a gap in the drones, crushing one metal enemy with a single swipe of its claw. Dane shouted a word, and the pup leapt to intercept a holographic beast lunging from the mist. The alien cadets were stunned. Their jaws dropped as they watched the human move like a natural commander and the predator move like an extension of him. For the first time, they realized that humans were not weak. Not fragile. Not fragile at all. Raskin, the wolf warrior, ducked behind a pillar, his eyes wide. I can't believe this, he muttered. He's controlling it, controlling the predator. The instructor watched silently, his arms crossed. A slow, approving smile spread across his face. He had designed this test to break them, to show them fear, to see who would survive. But he knew now that Dane was no ordinary human. One massive mechanical beast rose from the floor, towering over the cadets. Its energy core glowed dangerously, and bolts of electricity shot from its arms. The cadets froze. They were sure they were done for. Dane didn't flinch. He raised his hand, and the predator pup dashed forward, dodging sparks and smashing the beast's legs. Dane moved behind it, shield raised, guiding the pup with simple, clear commands. Step by step, they worked together, breaking the mechanical monster into pieces. The other cadets watched in awe. Slowly, they began to follow Dane's lead. Simple instructions, small movements, teamwork. They realized they could survive if they trusted him. The arena fell silent for a moment. The last drone crashed to the ground. Holographic beasts faded. Smoke hung in the air. The cadets stared, exhausted but alive. Instructor Halon finally spoke. Enough. His voice echoed across the hall. The test is over. The alien cadets turned to the human and the predator pup. They were both calm, standing in the center of the arena, untouched, unshaken, and undefeated. Halon's eyes glinted. Now you all understand why humans are feared across the galaxy. The room was silent. No one moved. The aliens felt a new respect, a mixture of fear and awe. Humans were not weak. They were dangerous. They were clever, calm, and capable of bonding with creatures no one else could control. Dane looked at the predator pup and smiled. The pup nudged his leg, proud and loyal. He looked back at the class. It's not about strength, he said quietly. It's about staying calm when everything around you is chaos. That's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you survive. Instructor Halon finally unsealed the doors. The cadets stepped out slowly, changed forever. They had seen something no other academy had ever shown them. They had seen humans in their true form, fearless, clever, and dangerous. Halon's final words echoed. Remember this day. Remember what you saw. The galaxy will never underestimate humans again. Dane and the predator pup walked out together, calm, confident, and unbeatable. The other cadets could only watch in awe, knowing that the human's legend had just begun, and that one day they would hear the name Dane and fear it. Outside the academy, the stars shone brightly. Somewhere in the galaxy, new threats waited. But humans were ready. And the predator pup was just the beginning.